What's going on, everybody? My name's Lowly618, and let's go ahead and talk about the fallout from the election. Now, I know that the election happened a week ago, and I'm just out talking about it, but I didn't want to talk about it right afterwards because there was so much heat, there was so much negativity going on around it, that I felt like it was necessary to wait, let the fire cool down a little bit. I could have got a lot of views from it, but to be honest, I did not want to, throw fuel onto the fire and just have everything go kaboom. So I waited a week, and I think things have calmed down just a little bit, just enough to where it's safe to talk about it. So just give a brief synopsis of what it was like going through this whole thing. Last week I was down in my hometown. I'm still registered in the town I grew up in. I'm not registered where I currently live now. So I drove 2 hours to go vote. After I got done voting, I went to my parents' house and we kind of watched the results unfold. My dad had the TV on Fox News. I was looking on Google to see what everyone else was saying as far as calling what states and seeing where all the other states were going. And as the night went on and you started to see Florida go Republican and you started to see North Carolina and Ohio, and then all of a sudden you saw Michigan and Wisconsin flip, and you started to realize, oh my God, Trump could become president. It was kind of weird. It was kind of a weird feeling for me. It was like, I thought Clinton was going to win. I'm not a Democrat. I actually voted third party because even though I normally vote Republican, I hated Trump. So I went and voted third party just basically because I knew my vote wasn't going to count being in Illinois, which is bluer as blue, or at least Chicago's really blue. I voted third party because I didn't like either of the candidates, and I knew what my vote wasn't going to really affect the decision in the state of Illinois. So I went third party and I watched the results, and whenever I saw Trump actually started to win and he just needed that one more big state to actually win, it was like, wow, we could actually have Trump as president. Now, at the whole time this is going on, I'm looking on Twitter and I'm looking on Facebook to see what people are saying. And whenever Trump finally got to a point where it looked like he just needed one more state to win, people started to get scared. And I can totally understand why people were getting scared. I honestly can. Trump has said some things that have definitely caused a lot of people to get scared, talking about, the deportation stuff, talking about all this controversial issues, being very degrading to women, and, people feared about the LGBTQ communities and the right to gay marriage, especially whenever he announced that his vice president was Mike Pence. And I understand the fear. I really don't think that the fears are going to be realized, but I can understand the fear that was going on that night because it was the unknown. We had a guy who was anti-establishment, who was not part of the politically elite, but he was about to become our president. And he had said a lot of this stuff that really divided the country. And once that final state came in, once Pennsylvania was declared, that's whenever shit hit the fan. Fast forward to the day after, Wednesday the 9th, and you have protesters out on the streets. Now, the peaceful protesters I can get behind. It's the rioters, the people that were destroying property, that were causing damage to local businesses, that were, for all intents and purposes, being violent because they didn't get their way. That's where I draw the line. And you see this violence and riots, not just on Clinton's side, but you saw violence coming from people that were on Trump's side. There was a lot of reports saying that Trump supporters were telling women to get back in their place, telling black people to go back to Africa, telling the Hispanic population that they were going to get deported. There were all sorts of reports of Trump supporters being racist, homophobic, telling people to go back home, etc., etc. And at the same time, you had the Clinton supporters destroying property and doing all this violent, crazy stuff. I just gotta say, if you are doing that type of stuff, you are dead wrong. You definitely do not deserve respect. And you are you're kind of the poster child for why people hate your side. I'm just saying. And then apart from all the riots and the violence, you see all the things on Twitter and Facebook and even the news media outlets saying, you know, because Trump won, racism, hate, sexism, homophobia, xenophobia, bigotry had won. And then you see all the people who were talking about the protesters who were Clinton supporters calling them crybabies, crybullies, supporters of corruption, supporters of a criminal. And I don't know, to me, that part right there is just blatant, you know, blatant bigotry in and of itself. I mean, if you're calling every Trump supporter a racist, a sexist, a homophobe, a bigot, that's bigotry in and of itself. You're grouping everybody into a basket that only the tiniest percentage of people in this country fit under. And same thing if you look on the Trump supporters calling the Hillary supporters crybabies and crybullies. Not everybody who voted for Hillary Clinton went out and protested and destroyed public property that day and that night. Really, the name calling and the mudslinging in this country has kind of divided everybody. No matter who you voted for, no matter your party lines, it's divided everybody in this country, and to be honest, it's kind of sad, really, just to see the country get divided up just for one election. Now, I get why a lot of people were upset with the election. Even though Clinton won the popular vote, Trump won the electoral vote, and that's kind of the rule set that we have for the elections, presidential elections, and that's the rules that they were fighting in. Because of the popular vote, a lot of people have signed a petition for the Electoral College voters to vote against Trump and to vote in Hillary instead. Now, the Electoral College vote does not happen until, I believe, the 10th of December. They had time to get this petition together and to try to get their voices out there. But the problem is I don't think that's going to happen. Most of the time, if the Electoral College is won in the general election, that the Electoral College goes ahead and votes in Trump. Not to mention, Hillary's already conceded the race, and quite honestly, I don't think this petition is going to do any good. And plus, the petition itself undermines the system that we currently have. Now, granted, the system is a bit flawed, I will admit that. Out of the 50 or 60 some odd presidential races that we've had, 5 of them have gone down as someone winning the popular vote, but having the electoral vote and the presidency go to the other person. Now, while I can agree that seems backwards, at the same time, I kind of get it. There is a debate to be had about going the popular vote versus the electoral vote, and we could probably go over that in another video. At the same time, I see this petition as being something of, you know, undermining the rules and undermining the election laws that we have in this country. And to be quite honest, it's kind of sad. The way I kind of summarize the people who are supporting this petition is, you know, you have a football team who just demolished their opponents by like 30 odd points. But the people they demolished get to win because everyone thought their uniforms looked awesome. And granted, while their uniforms might look great, that's not the rule set we had. Just like in this case, while Hillary won the popular vote, the rules were you had to get the electoral votes, which means you had to win enough states. You had to win the popular vote in the states. You didn't have to win the popular vote in the national sense. That wasn't the rule. You had to win the popular vote in each of the 50 states plus the District of Columbia. So really, I don't see this petition going anywhere. And quite honestly, the Electoral College, it's made up of loyal Republicans or loyal Democrats anyway that are sent by Republicans and Democrats after the election is over. So, quite honestly, I don't think this petition is going to go anywhere. Now, that's really all I have. If I could go and talk about all this stuff for hours, I honestly could. But a lot of this stuff, I don't want to make this, you know, like 20, 30, 40 minute video. So, I'm just going to cut it off here. If you guys want me to talk about things in this election. What reasons why I think Trump won, reasons why I think Hillary lost. My thoughts about the electoral college versus the popular vote. Let me know in the comments section down below. I'd love to hear you guys' feedback and see if you guys want to hear about those videos. If you guys want me to talk about that type of stuff. If you guys do, make sure to hit the like button as well. If you guys are new to the channel, hit subscribe. And guys, I mean, Trump's going to be our president. It's weird. I don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to walk through this for the next 4 years, and we'll just see what happens. But yeah, comment, like, subscribe. Tell me what you guys want to see as far as any like political topics related to this election. I will do my best to make videos for them. But anyway, guys, I'm out of here. Thank you so much for watching and listening. My name's Lily618, and I'm out. Peace.